Welcome to a tour of my dream setup. I have been working my ass off over my entire life just to get to where I am right now, and it's not ending. I'm gonna continue upgrading this entire thing, but I wanted to give a tour of what it is so far since everybody's been asking me over on TikTok all my specs. So this is a tour of my setup. Let's not waste any more time and just get right into it. All right, believe it or not, this is actually how my setup looks most of the time. I try as hard as I can to not keep it dirty at all. So even though like I'm a content creator and whatnot, I make a lot of TikToks, this is pretty candid. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, this isn't like a front. But let's hop over to the computer because that's the biggest thing about this entire setup. Everyone wants to know the specs, so let's get right into that. I built this computer myself over the course of like nearly a decade now, I wanna say. This is an RTX 3090 Tough Gaming Edition card. Yes, it is a 3090. No, I have no reason to have it. I also have it paired with an AMD Ryzen 9 3950X. That is a 16 core 32 thread processor. I do not need anything that much. I just want overkill. Next to that, I have Trident Z RGB 3600 megahertz RAM. Those are two 16 gigabyte sticks. On top of the processor is a Kraken Z73 liquid cooler. I have it mounted to the side rather than the top. I might add it to the top later on. All of this stuff is being plugged into an ROG Crosshair 8 Hero Wi-Fi Edition motherboard. Again, overkill, but that's what we're shooting for. Along the sides are these Lian Li Strimmer Plus cables. These are going to an 850 watt Supernova EVGA ATX power supply. And on the top for the CPU, just to keep the color scheme going, because I don't have a Strimmer Plus cable on that since I didn't have it at the time, it's just a cable mod black and white power extension cable. The fans going around the case are Lian Li Unifans. These are 120 millimeters each, and there is a total of 10 of them. For those of you who are wondering, the bottom and the side are all intake fans, so 6 intake, and then the top 3 and the one in the back, those are exhaust. So there's positive pressure going on, which is a reference to my TikTok. All of this stuff is being housed in the beautiful Lian Li 011 Dynamic XL. This thing's in white. It gets a lot of hate because everyone uses this case, but there is a reason why so many people like it, and it's because it's great at basically everything. If you were looking outside the case, yes, this is a Valve Index. The controllers are over here. I do love VR, and this is by far the best headset. I know it's $1,000, but this thing is amazing. Highly, highly recommend if you have the power to be able to run it. Now let's jump over to my monitors because this is another crucial part of my setup. This main monitor right here is an AOC 3440 by 1440, 144 hertz, 1 millisecond response time, 34-inch ultra-wide monitor. That was an absolute mouthful. I feel like I repeated some stuff. I went ultra-wide with LG. That was a 75 hertz monitor that I had a couple years ago. I've never gone back. Once you get to an ultra wide, you're never gonna wanna settle for anything less. They are an incredible upgrade. This one over here is not ultra wide, but both of these are curved, by the way. This is a 165 hertz monitor from AOC. It is 32 inches, and it's just another beautiful monitor. My plan is to have an extra camera, like an actual camera, go behind, like in between these two, so the little curve there isn't gonna last very long. On top of my computer, if you were looking closely, that is a Logitech Brio. It is a $200 4K webcam. Pretty overkill, definitely unnecessary, but it's a good webcam. Now for my peripherals, I just made a YouTube video on this. If you wanna check it out, I'll throw a card. This is the Melitrix Zoom 65. It is an absolute banger of a 65% custom keyboard. Highly, highly recommend building one, grabbing one, doing what you want. What I have in this are just the stock keycaps. Under it are Durock V2 stabilizers. Those are lubed and modded, and then the switches themselves are tangerines. And if you're looking closely right here, that is a Dwarf Factory Artisan keycap. I have this keyboard plugged into a Glorious Nebula coiled cable along with a Novel Keys resin wrist rest. This mouse I absolutely love. It's the Razer Viper Ultimate. This thing is amazing, especially if you have like a claw grip or whatnot when you're trying to play video games. I love, love, love that mouse. Highly recommend. The mouse pad I got from drop.com, but I can't remember exactly what it is, so I'm gonna throw a picture up on the screen right now, but it's pretty nice. Just to make a note, if you're planning on getting a white desk pad, be ready for like dirtied marks up, especially where your wrist goes, because you can actually see how dark it is right there. Just behind the coiled cable is an Anker wireless charger for my phone. It's facing me when I'm on my computer, so I don't actually have to pick it up and try to read anything, and since it's facing me, I can just use Face ID. Definitely nice to just have that extra little thing there charging my phone while I'm playing. Next to that is a Stream Deck XL. You will never need this many buttons. Do not get an XL unless you just want it for the flex. It is really nice to just have it linked to my entire room and whatnot, especially if I'm playing video games and I don't want to alt tab out of the game and hit the record button, or if I want to mute myself, or if you can see right there, do flashback recording. I'm trying to focus, but do flashback recording with that button right there for quick clips for TikTok and whatnot. Now what I have here for my microphone is an Elgato Wave 3. I love this microphone. I think it's pretty darn great. I don't think you could go wrong with getting a microphone like this. The stand that I have for it is just an Amazon stand. It's not an Amazon basic stand, but I got it off of Amazon. I can't remember the name of it, but it's in my spreadsheet that I mentioned at the beginning of this video. Definitely invest in an arm that doesn't have a lot of creaking to it when you're moving around, especially if you stream or make videos. Over here are my headphones, and these things are destroyed. I've only had these for about 2.5 years. These are the Corsair RGB Virtuoso wireless. You can see how dirty they are and how scuffed they've gotten. This is $200, and after 2.5 years, you would expect them to last longer. I've already replaced the ear cuffs on them. These aren't the ones that came with them. I definitely don't recommend this headset, even though it looks really nice. And I also don't recommend the headset stand because it's like $75 for an RGB stand. Complete waste of money. Don't do it. The speakers that I have for my setup are just from Amazon. They're pretty darn cheap, but it's nice because it came with a subwoofer, if you can see that right there. Just having like the extra speakers, even though I rock headphones, you know, most of the time, speakers are pretty nice just to be able to play things for your friends if they come over and whatnot. So that's why I keep them out. Now the chair here is from Autonomous. This is a disclaimer that I have to make. I got this chair for free. They sent it to me for reviewing and whatnot. This chair is $700, so I don't expect a lot of people to be able to afford it. And if you're wondering why I got sent a $700 chair as a small YouTube channel, it's again because of TikTok, so go figure. I've been using this Secret Labs chair over here. This thing is $500 and it's been killing my back, which is why they sent me this. I don't recommend this at all, and I don't recommend this for $700. Also, definitely get plants to hide cables for your setup. I have this one here for a little decoration and to kind of tuck away those cables in the back there, and a plant right here just to kind of give it some more life. Highly recommend plants. Very, very easy way to make your setup look better. Now it's kind of hard to see because there's so much exposure for this light, but above my setup are nanoleaf panels. Everyone should know what these are. I'm gonna zoom in so you guys can actually see the colors a little bit better. I only recommend them if you have the money. They are pretty cool and they're super bright. Now I'm gonna talk about this before I move on to over here, which is like my editing station. The tables that I have, these are actually countertops. They are the IKEA Carlby countertops. This is a 74-inch version and this is a 98-inch version. If you put them in the orientation that I have, it actually makes a perfect L, and it's very, very nice if you want a nice wide setup, especially if you're trying to divide attention, which is what I do. So if you're out here gaming and whatnot and you want to hop over to write scripts like I do for TikTok or YouTube, bang, you have this little area over here looking out the window. It's nice. I definitely recommend an L desk. Under the Carlbys, I have these IKEA Alex drawers. I have a total of 4 of them. There's 2 right here, and then when it begins over there, I have another one facing this way, and this one facing this way. I can still access this drawer if you're wondering, so don't worry about it. That's not like totally cut off. I can still store things in it. It just makes sense. It's nice. And if you're worried about the distance, meaning that like there would be sag because there'd be a lack of support here, I've had no problems. I just would avoid mounting anything super, super heavy in the center here. All right, now let's hop over to the second part of my setup. This side of my setup is specifically dedicated to writing scripts, editing, anything that involves creativity would be here. You can actually see like I have my card reader and whatnot and my lens cap for my camera right here. This is where I will sit to think of like video ideas and whatnot. What I have running right here is a iPad. This is the one right before the M1 chip came out. So I think it's 2020, I wanna say, but it's on a Magic Keyboard with an Apple Pencil 2. This little contraption is made so that I can actually use the magnet on the back of my phone and put my phone like against it so I can have 2 screens. It's pretty nice. I used this thing for college and it was an absolute godsend. Under it is this Nanami Drop.com Tokyo Cityscape desk pad. It's pretty darn nice. It's really, really, I guess, involved. Like there's just like a lot going on. Over here, just some random keycaps that I have that I ended up using as decoration. Right here is a thing I got sent from Devoom. I think this is called their Pixu. I can't remember. It's been a while since I made the video, but now I have it as a decoration. It's pretty cool. It plays like pixel art and whatnot. I have it right next to my Amazon Alexa. So if I go, Alexa, turn my living room lights off, I have it linked to the lights in my room. So whenever it starts to get dark out, I can just toss those lights on. I don't have to touch anything. It's daytime out, so this might be a little blinding to see, but this is an Elgato key light arm. So this is a key light Air. I have another one over here that's not attached to anything. It's just on a stand so that I can get better lighting for videos and whatnot. This is just pushed to the side because I don't need it right now. And coming off of the key light Air, I have this master mount that would hook into my phone. So if I wanted to do any unboxings, I could turn that like facing downward, and then I can record myself opening stuff here for TikTok and stuff. Right next to my Alexa is my Govee table lamp. This thing's pretty cool. I think I would recommend it if you want to just add a little bit more life to your setup. It's nice because it's completely 360. Sitting right next to this stuff is my L bracket. This is something I just picked up for the stand that I have over here for when I record videos, so I can take my nice camera and put it vertical, so if I want to make TikToks on a nicer looking camera like this, I would still be able to. Definitely cheap purchase, definitely worth it. This is just an oil diffuser that I like. I already talked about my index controllers briefly. These track your fingers, by the way, if you don't know. It's pretty cool. Over here are a bunch of switches that I'm not using right now. I have them in these Kinetic Labs jars, along with these keyboards that I have on display right next to them. I should really get a keyboard stand, but this is how I have them set up right now. This is a GMMK Pro. This was my daily driver for a long time. This was modded with stabilizers and whatnot, and Novel Keys PBOW Katakana keycaps, along with Aqua King lubed and film switches. Next to it is a Random Frank P NK65 from Novel Keys, also great company. It's a pretty nice keyboard. I don't use it as much though. Over here is a Bakaneko 60 with bento box keycaps and banana split switches that are also lubed. It's like the one keyboard that's cheap but actually worth more than it's valued at. And over here is a Keychron Q1 with salmon tactile switches and Kinetic Labs Corn PBT keycaps. Over here I have this Govee light bar. It's pretty nice. I decided to outline in between my little pegboard here and my Akira poster. Absolutely love this movie. So I have this thing going. Adds a nice little, flair to the room. The pegboard right here is from IKEA. It's super, super cheap. On top I have these fake plants just to kind of give it some life, quote unquote. I know that sounds a bit ironic, but I have these switches in these containers right here. These are Ocean Blue Acos. These are Lavenders. These are Cherry MX Reds. These are Prevail Keyco Epsilon switches. These are great stock. These are another form of Cherry Reds. I can't remember exactly what they are. I think they're called Phantom Reds. They're amazing. I do like these a lot, especially stock. And over here are Acco Vintage Whites. All of these switches are pretty great except for these. And I want to just point this out real quick. I have these movie posters to add more flair to the room. Like I said, Akira, and then over here I have the No Mercy poster from Left 4 Dead. I'm a huge Left 4 Dead fan, and since they have their game loading screens as movie posters, it kind of just worked out, Over here I have this little tripod for my camera, and over here is this IKEA fern plant. I forgot exactly what it was called, but I decided to have it begin my setup. And I think it looks pretty good. I do care about cable management at least a little bit. It's a mess under here, but I have a bar. I don't know if you can see it, but I have a bar right here. I have to clean it up. It's a complete mess. It keeps the cables off the ground, and it does the same thing over here, so it doesn't look so bad. And yeah, that's basically it. Over here, I have this bookshelf with manga and records and my record player. I'm not gonna go in depth over here because it's not directly part of my setup, but I will be doing a room tour at some point. But for now, that's my little streaming, gaming, editing setup. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed me touring through my setup, my dream setup that I finally have, thank God. It would definitely mean the world to me if you guys could subscribe if you enjoyed the video. It'll let me know that you guys like this kind of content so I can make more of it. Be sure to comment below what you think about the setup, and maybe I inspired you to do some different things with your setup. If you want to follow me over on TikTok, which is mainly my posting platform, it is Positive Pressure. I'll throw up a little thing, I guess, right here so you guys know exactly what profile it is. So if you guys want to support me over there, that's another option. But with that being said, I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. See you later.